Hey everyone, welcome back to the Agenda Now channel. Today, I'm breaking down one of the most important Senate hearings you probably hadn't heard about, but need to. We're talking national security, farming, rural hospitals, and the silent cyber threats that could impact every American. Trust me, what goes on in these hearings shapes your safety, your food, and your healthcare. Let's jump in. First, Senator Josh Hawley kicks things off by grilling Mr. Walk, the nominee for Inspector General, about his top priorities. And Mr. Walk doesn't sugarcoat it. He lays out three huge pillars: public health and safety, program integrity, and national security. Big topics. These are the backbone of how the U.S. protects itself from the inside out. Then, things get serious fast. Mr. Walk warns about foreign investments in U.S. agriculture. Yeah, that's everything from farmland to the cattle in your burger. He points out that some of these deals could let foreign adversaries get their hands on sensitive data. Oversight here isn't just paperwork, it's about protecting America's food supply from people who don't have our best interests at heart. And then, he drops a bombshell: research security breaches at the University of Michigan. Two separate incidents, both involved biological materials tied to agriculture, both linked back to foreign nationals. One of the breaches, it involved a pathogen the FBI considers an agro-terrorism weapon. The other, it could devastate livestock. Not exactly the kind of thing you hear about on the evening news, right? Now, Mr. Walk also says the U.S. cannot depend on foreign countries for critical supplies like fertilizer. He calls this a national security issue. Basically, he's saying, America needs to be able to feed itself. No exceptions. If that doesn't make you rethink where your food comes from, I don't know what will. Next, the spotlight shifts to Dr. Bill. The issue? Cybersecurity in rural hospitals. Most of these places just don't have the budget for high-tech defenses. That makes them sitting ducks for ransomware and cyber attacks, literally putting lives at risk. Dr. Bill is all in on the new Rural Hospital Cybersecurity Enhancement Act. He makes it clear, cybersecurity isn't a nice-to-have, it's a must. Then, Dr. Bill shares his bigger vision. Turns out, 80% of their staff is chasing down Medicare and Medicaid fraud. The tech they use? Outdated, clunky, and easy to outsmart. His first move? Upgrade the software to spot fraud faster and smarter. But here's the twist. He says it's not just about catching bad actors. It's about changing their behavior before the fraud even starts. That's prevention on a whole new level. So, here's the bottom line. This hearing was a wake-up call. Foreign interference, biological threats, weak hospital cybersecurity, and fraud. It's all connected. These aren't just policy issues. They affect your food, your health, and your safety. If you found this deep dive helpful, hit like, share it, and make sure you're subscribed for the next breakdown. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay informed and stay safe.
Congratulations to the nominees. Thank you for being here. Mr. Walk, let me just start with you. Give us a sense, if you would, give me a sense of your priorities. If confirmed, what do you think are the major efforts, lines of effort that you would pursue? Just give me a sense of what you think the lay of the land is.
Senator, thank you. So the top, I would say, three priorities would be public health and safety, integrity of our programs, and also the national security programs.
On the national security programs, what do you have in mind in particular?
Well, Senator, you may know that the Secretary has released a farm security plan that highlights kind of the linkage between homeland security and agriculture. We've seen, for example, foreign investments in the United States related to agriculture, both in foreign purchases as well as companies where we're getting data that seems shipped to exported to foreign adversaries, and I think we need to, as we take actions on those kinds of things for the IG, to make sure that it's done in an appropriate way. Other issues that I think deserves a look is research security. I'm sure, as you may know, in the last 6 months, there's been at least two breaches at the University of Michigan involving biological materials that have a link to agriculture. One is fusarium, which the FBI has characterized as an agro-terrorism weapon, and the other is a ringworm, which can cause pretty serious diseases to livestock. And both were at the hands of foreign adversaries, I'll just say it, Chinese nationals. And there seems to be a pattern there, and in other schools as well, where we need to be looking closer at research security, particularly when it comes from USDA? Is that money staying within the United States, or is it somehow supporting foreign adversaries? There's also, I think, an interest in terms of making sure that we increase our independence so that we're not dependent on foreign nations for key agricultural inputs such as fertilizer. And I would view all of that within kind of the national security rubric.
Very good. Mr. Bell, let me just switch to you if I could. I want to talk to you for just a second about rural hospitals, particularly cybersecurity as it relates to rural hospitals. About 40% of the hospitals in my state are rural. Frequently, these hospitals do not have the budget to stand up a cybersecurity effort, and as a consequence, they are frequently the targets of cybersecurity attacks. That's one of the reasons that Senator Hassan and I have introduced a bill called the Rural Hospital Cybersecurity Enhancement Act, which would direct HHS to create a comprehensive workforce strategy to train and develop cybersecurity personnel and professionals to help rural hospitals in particular. Now, I ask you this because if this legislation were to pass, the Office of Inspector General would be tasked with auditing how HHS develops and rolls out the cybersecurity strategy, including verifying that the training goes to the neediest hospitals, holding grantees accountable for improvements in defenses. If you are confirmed, can you commit to me that you would prioritize oversight of legislation like the Rural Hospital Cybersecurity Enhancement as part of HHS's broader rural hospital or rural health efforts?
Senator Hawley, thank you for the question. I concur that's a serious problem. Having spent 4 years at the National Counterterrorism Center, I'm aware of the dangers of cyber security, and I will commit to sit down with you and figure out how to implement that if confirmed and if passed. But I believe that would be a top priority even if the legislation doesn't pass.
Very good. And give me a sense of, in just our few remaining seconds here, of what you see as the other top priorities and lines of effort should you be confirmed.
I think 80% of the IG staff is dedicated to Medicare and Medicaid fraud. There's a lot of modernization that needs to take place. One of the first things I would look at is what type of payment tracker software payment tracker software is the office using in order to look across databases to find fraud. And I will bring to bear my background at the Department of Justice in stopping criminal conduct. It's not important to just to rack up more cases or more money, but to change behavior. The behavior of people doing the fraud needs to be changed. So I would design advice and initiatives to change the behavior of people committing fraud so they don't decide not to do so.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.